And we are live. Alexa, go for it. And we don't hear you. You are muted.
Because you asked everyone to be muted. So that's why, we start from being muted. But good. Hello, everyone. My name is Alexandra, but Alexa for short and for easy life. Thank you for joining us here on this Fireside chat with amazing experts and amazing moderator who's also an expert. We're here right now for as a part of the scouting process for Startup Wise Guys Sustainability Badge that will happen in the end of November. We'll start in the end of November. We are really excited to open this direction officially at Startup Wise Guys to see and to search for startups that will impact really important topics, really important fields in our lives, and smart city energy and mobility are a part of these topics that we are right now looking into. And that's why we decided to have this joint collaboration and joint sharing experience with our dedicated mentors to see and to listen to about the challenges on this on energy and mobility, so that after that we can move to the startups pitches and finding the best ones. As for the agenda, I will give the mic to Joosep right now. But before that, for everyone to know about the what to expect. So we have the Fireside chat right now starting for 30 minutes. We'll have 15 minutes questions after that. So if you want to ask anything, please type, and I need Louisa to help me with that, where to type the questions.
Facebook or YouTube Live, just write in comments and we will see them.
Yes. And after that, so this part is live streamed, so you can join and see and ask the questions. And then after that, we'll leave the live stream part and we'll go to the startup pitches separately with our experts. I want to introduce you to, not to keep any more waiting, I want to introduce you, to give the word to Joosep, who will be moderating this Fireside chat. We met with Joosep about a bit less than 3 years ago. He was a part of our batch 10 at Startup Wise Guys. He joined us with a team of actually 5 co-founders, which is unique, almost unique in the market, or not that usual. With a company, with a startup called SmartWent. Recently, they rebranded to Calidity. And Joosep is working with energy and energy management for the past, 5 years, 6 years, even more. And he's our alumni portfolio company, and we're really happy to have him here. And I'm giving the word to you so that you can take it from here and lead this chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexa. From my side as well, super nice to be here. Sustainability has been a hot topic in the world for 2-3 years. And finally, Startup Wise Guys also got around to doing something in this field. But I'm super happy about it. Super happy to be able to come and pitch in wherever I can within this batch, and hopefully many more batches to come as well. But as Alexa already took 5 minutes of our panel time, then without further ado, maybe guys, I'll give you 1-2 minutes to introduce yourself. What is it that you do? What can the people watching expect to hear from you? So maybe, I don't know who is on my left-hand side, who is on my right-hand side. Tomas, can you start?
Sure, I think I'm at the bottom of you, so at least on my screen. Great, so yeah, happy to be here, guys. Fantastic, you organize this. I'm a partner at Contrarian Ventures Fund. It's an early stage, it's a VC fund investing in early stage companies across Europe and Israel that are creating something innovative in the energy technology and mobility spaces. So this topic, the batch you guys doing is super relevant to us. We're not an accelerator. We don't accelerate companies, but we definitely follow the companies that come out of the accelerators, and once they sort of reach seed or slightly later stage, we happily invest if we see the fit with our portfolio. We have 16 companies in the portfolio across whole Europe, 40% of capital in the UK. Then we got Nordics, Israel, exposure to Israel, as well as 6 companies in the Baltics. So we're a very active investor. And we talk energy tech, we talk mobility, we talk sustainability every day, and really live in this environment and ecosystem. So super happy to share anything that we've learned and learn something from other folks on the panel.
Thank you, Tomas. Because Priit is also an investor, so then maybe let's take Priit next.
Yes. So my name is Priit Lepasepp, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Sunly. So we are a energy developer, or renewable energy developer and operator, and then at the same time we are also dealing with innovation in the same sector. So we are investing into renewable energy, smart city, and electrification related startups. So we have been investing already through this vehicle about 10 years or so. So we are doing, we are not categorizing the startups. So we are doing very early stage investments, and we are doing also late stage investments. So we are open to basically very good teams and ideas to invest into.
Thanks, Priit. Oleg, mic is now yours.
Yeah, hello. So my name is Oleg. I'm a board member of Modus Group. It's a family business that basically invests in 2 areas of interest, being renewable energy, solar power and biogas power plants, and mobility business that consists of old school businesses like automotive retail, but at the same part, new mobility businesses like CTB in car sharing. So as a group, we only recently started to scan some outside investments where we not a majority shareholder. So looking forward to see what will the future brings.
Great, thanks Oleg so much. So maybe to kick off the discussion, I want to ask maybe a bit of a triggering question regarding the definition of sustainability for all you guys, because the badge that Sara Paiskas is launching is called a sustainability badge. So who should be applicable for that and who not, and maybe also, does everything that categorizes under smart cities, energy and mobility, can that also be automatically categorized as sustainability or no? So I know it's drawing a line in the sand, but I'm just curious for your opinion. Where would you draw this line in the sand? Whoever has any good ideas can just take the mic and go.
I will start then. So for me, the line goes what I'm usually stating as greenwashing. So everything that seems sustainable but isn't, and this is usually in the energy market, is related with incumbent energy producers in Europe, for example. So they would like to be green, and in the marketing they think they are green also, and maybe the logos are also green and the web pages, but you have to also go into detail what they are really doing in the sustainability and renewable sector. So for me, sustainability is more related with really being sustainable, not as, for example, yesterday Apple announced new phones, and they are also thinking that they are sustainable, but leaving the chargers out and also headphones out, but you still have to buy them. So yeah, it's more or less what you are saying and how you are using those things. So I think sustainability has to be a very important part of it. So sustainability is more of the thing that you have to do anyhow. not market it as like a new thing that you have to be CO2 neutral by some year. So just be CO2 neutral or just be something, but don't market it as something, I don't know, something that it's not.
Thanks, Priit. Tomas, Oleg, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I also was going to mention greenwashing, super important topic. And we've been seeing more and more of that actually this year and the last year, increasingly more. And it's really hard to sort of sift around and really see what's true and what's not. I think everyone's riding on this wave, like even, maybe not necessarily linked to the sustainability directly, but as General Motors announced the investment in Nikola, their stock popped, I can't remember, 10+% sort of, already making them green and getting much more market cap than the investment itself. But then other things happened with Nikola, now it's unclear. But it's super important for us. Sustainability, obviously we look at two sectors, energy tech and mobility, and definitely it doesn't clearly mean that once you look at energy technology, oh, this is great, this is 100% sustainable, let's not even think about it. We sort of implicitly work in the industries that should be tackling the climate change and the CO2 and the other greenhouse gas emissions, but we always try to take a step deeper and really dig into the more detail, like a supply chain, how where that stuff is produced and how do you address it. So we have KPIs for every company where we track, if it's easily trackable, like our company Bold Bikes, now we branded to Zoom, how many deliveries can be made on bikes, and then how many tons of CO2 can be offset in that way. So we definitely try to look at the detail, but greenwashing is so big these days because the market just rewards people that say those words. So I think the average person cannot really differentiate and see really the ones that are making the difference.
Thanks, Tomas. Oleg, what's your take on this?
I think we need to put into perspective the thing that it's completely startup of this whole process of sustainability. Nobody was talking about it 5-10 years ago, and so if we do that and take a step back, it's gonna be a long journey with lots of ups, like Tomas and Priit mentioned, and there will be lots of downs. And just not to be washed into this, you need to keep the perspective that basically it is the future. The businesses will not survive if they're not going to be sustainable. Like already colleagues mentioned, that you need to do it like a personal hygiene daily. It's not only for the show and those. So that's I think the most important thing.
And maybe if I just may add, I think what Oleg mentioned, it's definitely a journey. You cannot. The world needs to. I think. No one can argue the world needs to be sustainable. Not everyone sees the problem. Obviously, there's a lot of groups these days that on the internet that are, having all these conspiracy theories. But putting those aside, a journey, and as Oleg rightly mentioned, you got ups and downs, and people often talk about electric vehicles or that kind of stuff, and everyone argues, look, this is good, and then someone comes out, actually, you guys don't understand anything. Batteries are left on the sides of the road. They are produced from the harmful materials, and in order to dig that cobalt or nickel, you need a lot of labor that's unsafe and blah blah blah. So of course it's not all perfect, and it cannot be perfect today 100%. The whole supply chain is extremely complicated, and it takes years and years of effort to really make it 100% sustainable and toxic free and stuff like that. But I think the journey has and will have ups and downs, but as long as the sort of long-term goal is right, having more electrified fleet on the roads versus internal combustion engine on the road, then we'll get there. But definitely going to be bumps on the road, and if you just look sort of, oh, hey, this is actually not 100% sustainable, then I don't need it. I think it's definitely wrong to do it.
Yeah, I can also add on it that you have to also compare the sustainability as well. So I have seen in the renewable energy development a lot of this kind of attitude that wind farms are ugly, and so this kind of aesthetical questions, not only the facts about how the batteries or the blades or whatever are produced, but at the same time when we are discussing about how the new world is looking like, in Estonia at least, the mines are getting closer to buildings in different places. So at the same time, the old way of life is still continuing. So I think everything is better than the old life.
Thanks, guys. I must say I mainly agree with you, but I did see a bit of contradiction in the answers. Mainly when Priit initially you said that you have to decide whether you want to be sustainable or not. But then Oleg and Tomas they went on saying that it's a journey. So which way is it then? Because like in my opinion, I was also kind of not to say frustrated, but a bit like disappointed that Apple greenwashed the whole Apple community with their developments. But again, paraphrasing what Tomas said, they are actually taking, they are trying to take steps to ending up in the right place at some point down the road, at least. Or what do you think?
I think it's more or less related with to make the decision to be sustainable. Obviously, if you have a bigger company, you have to make it in a certain amount of time. And now the question is how much time you need. So if you take also bigger companies making bigger, let's say, restructuring in their missions. So in company missions, I mean, so that logic is that you can do it fast or you can delay it. So delaying it means that you are risking your business. So I can take, for example, in the energy field, there are a lot of companies that have decided that we will be sustainable in 10 or 15 years. But what might happen is that you will miss the bus or train or whatever, and your old business will die. And also your new way of business will not grow. So there is many examples where the old way, how, for example, incumbent energy producers are entering into renewable energy field, is that they are already missed the train. So what they start to do is basically, because they haven't innovated, they are buying companies that innovate, but they have to pay a huge premiums on top of that. So they are killing themselves even faster. So that was what I meant, that you have to decide right now. So if we are a big structure, okay, let's take a year or two, but not 4 years. So even for example, in Estonia, you can say that, let's see that, for example, Enefit is a big company. No, it's not. So in a worldwide, it's not a big company. And you can make a switch in your missions more rapidly that they are doing. So this is what I meant.
Okay, thanks for clearing that up for me. I now got what you meant as well. Changing the subject rapidly here, because you can't have a panel nowadays without discussing the COVID topic. What's your opinion, guys? So in the short term and in the long term, if we talk about markets such as smart cities, energy, and mobility, the impact of COVID on these markets in the short term, how were they impacted, and how will they be impacted in your opinion in the long term? I'm super curious to know Oleg's opinion on this, because you guys are managing CityB. So what did you see in the short term, and did you make any strategical decisions that you can also share with us to support this change in your company strategy in the long term as well?
I think the COVID is a good example that if it's not COVID, something else would happen. So basically, it's just a part of the journey. You can never forecast everything, and it showed us quite well. And as every business running outside, you need to adapt to be agile. And like in our case, what happened, like suddenly part of our users who were just using the service like a sort of triangle, like homework and some kind of entertainment and leisure. Suddenly they stopped moving in one place. So we needed to think of how to restructure those other kind of trips that were not being at the business plan like 2 months ago. So I think that only shows that long-term wise, it will not affect where the world was heading. It will still go there. It's just like maybe a good example of what I've meant by journey in answering previous question, that there will be pullbacks and there will be wins that you cannot foresee now. So basically, you need to be focused on what you are really into, and some hiccups or hills that you find on the road, it's just life. So you need to take them.
Cool. Yeah. If I may answer that few points. So I think maybe answering as you asked, short term and long term. So short term, obviously, mobility has been hit massively. I'm talking, ride hailing, ride sharing, micro mobility. The scooters out in the cities, everything. But at the same, so a lot of the startup we've seen. We know the funds we invest only in the mobility it was pretty horrible. People were really shocked. It was everything just literally just halted. All the plants, everything was parked in the first few months. Then sort of the world started opening up a little bit, closing back again, and so on. But as Oleg mentioned, sort of has different effects. At the same time as all the cars were off the roads in the garages, in the parking places. European cities like Milan, London, Paris drew up, 1,000+ kilometers of bike lanes. Cars were out of the cities. Municipality quickly makes a decision. Sure, let's make this part of the road a bike lane. So definitely positive things came out of it pretty quickly. And people in general, I think people saw the clear skies. The Chinese people in China saw the clear skies that. Factories without putting out all the smokes out there, suddenly they can live in a much cleaner environment. And I think we've been having a bunch of conferences like that a few months ago, and there's sort of in all people's minds of, oh, this could happen, this could be reality, but a lot of the actions have to be taken. And in the energy tech space that we look at a lot, obviously, if we talk about specials industries like PV, like solar installations definitely went down quite significantly during that time because people would just not be able to work, or the supply chains have been disrupted. It's all picking back up again. And in general, I love the topic. So I think in longer term, everything will get back to normal. I think a lot of people said, and I agree with that, this COVID just accelerated the move to really rewarding the companies that are working on the renewable energy and something sustainable. And the long-term impact vision definitely has not changed, or maybe the curve became a little bit steeper on how quickly we'll be able to achieve that. In the short term, there were a bunch of disruptions everywhere. In the VC world was also challenging for a few months. We've been lucky that most of our portfolio companies were not impacted that much, but we've been having chats with them, on a sort of everyday almost basis in the first 2 months. So it was a definite disruption.
So from my side, I think it's, I don't know, if I look my startups or suddenly where we invested, so we have mainly hardware related. So there is IT issues as well, but mainly hardware related, and some of them are already producing something and selling. So what I see really is that we weren't so much affected by any of it, besides the fact that it was harder to really early stage where the startup is in the R&D phase to do a pilot, for example, in Finland or something like that. You cannot go there, you cannot install the items. So these kind of issues there were. But otherwise, if we look at the portfolio, then the startups were doing quite well. I think and the other side was that in our portfolio, the startups, they had raised the money before as well, so it was easier for them. So they had still the runway going. And concerning like the renewables, I think also taking into consideration that we are building at the moment in Poland solar parks, and we are developing wind and solar in the Baltics. So if we are looking at the development phase or construction phase, that basically there was no problems at all. So maybe in Warsaw, some of the banks delayed the processes, but otherwise it was quite simple, and nothing really problematic ended up. So everything is doable in this kind of situations. And I think concerning startups, I think one of the positive things was still the electricity price. Okay, it went down, but still, if you look different demand response businesses and startups, I think this is the best time for them. So it's a place where at least many companies looked into their costs, and they saw that electricity might be a huge cost for them. And I think this kind of how to control the consumption of electricity, it is going rapidly better and better. And and I think it also COVID made the business case better for them. So it's not anymore, you don't basically have to explain where the business is coming, but are already can be profitable if multiplied with X amount of clients.
Yeah, as we are in this business, then I have to agree with you completely. A lot of real estate companies, or companies who own or rent a lot of real estate, then it became a really big topic for them, as they wanted to cut down costs as much as possible, for sure. But maybe a quick topic to end this. I know it's not a quick topic when I ask it, but let's still try and go over it. So I'm going to say something, and you can even disagree with the thing that I'm saying. But the thing that I want to say is that in my opinion, the adoption curve of sustainability is too slow to actually kind of make the world make it, if you know what I mean. So we can look at it from different angles, starting from the oceans being polluted, or ending with the fact that we are still using too much energy produced from fossil fuels. But all across the board, what I believe is that the adoptions are not fast enough. So in your opinion, where should this kind of stimuli come from? Should it come from countries and governments? Should it come from the private sector and for example startups and their innovations, who then kind of come up with new products and services that just make the adoption much more easier or simple, or what's your take on this?
I'm happy to start on this one. Obviously, first of all, do I agree that we're not gonna make it? I'm not sure. Who knows? I hope we will. In general, I think all the parts have to work together. That's for sure. But governments and countries' roles cannot be underestimated. Like we've seen in many industries, in the renewables, in fossil fuels, in solar, government has to. It's such a big change across all the world that there has to be bodies available to make that change. Startups are great, innovations are great. They're needed. They are part that cannot be missing from the whole puzzle. But if you don't have, it's billions and trillions of dollars needed, and policies need to be changed because consumer behavior needs to be changed, and it cannot happen, unfortunately, without the governments and involvement, and everyone has to work toward the same goal. And when you had U.S. president sort of pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement, and people really worrying about his take on the climate change and sustainability in general, it's very worrying. When you see China, coming out with, again, controversial announcement out there, carbon neutrality, it's a good sign. Again, how much greenwashing is that? Who knows? Need to see the details. Maybe just a personal feud with Donald Trump. But government's role, in my opinion, is super important. We've been looking at the hydrogen space, for example, a lot, because I have one investment in Israel. It's doing very well in that space, so they're very involved. Hydrogen, everyone agrees, will be a part of the energy mix. It's in green. Green hydrogen, not the old classic one. And without billions of dollars in infrastructure and the push by governments, I think it's impossible for that industry to be in any levels, in any significant levels, anytime soon. So if we really want to expedite it, in my opinion, it's crucial we get the support.
So in my eyes, how you should start is just start it yourself. So in my opinion, for example, if you take Estonia, then it was private companies who started the renewable energy revolution here. So not the state-owned and the state. So yeah, the state can motivate you, but still you can choose where you do your business and change the world. So in my eyes, it's more or less that please just start and try to be closer to, because, for example, renewable energy production is still infrastructure business. So you need to get the cheapest money on the market as quick as possible. So for the bigger utilities, the money is quite cheap, meaning that they could do the revolution even faster, but they are not doing it. And it's quite interesting that at the moment, how motivation goes is that the EU is motivating bigger companies to do the revolution, but who is doing the revolutions really are the small companies. So the small companies are the next big companies, and please just be part of it. So start your business today, and if you take the future and where we want to be in the 2050 in the Europe, then I think it's the best time to start your own business. So you're basically in the beginning of the wave. The wave has been there also before, but still the wave is now even bigger. And today the renewable energy, for example, PV or onshore wind, it's already it's already something that we can do. So if we take a hydrogen, or we take, I'm not wanting to say the word, but I'm still saying it. For example, nuclear power plants. It's something that the people are basically. It's how to delay the change. Is that let's bring up things that are not doable today. There is all the time something in future that can change the thing that we are doing now. So let's continue using oil shale or coal, because next 15 years there will be some kind of fusion technology. But solar and wind is there today. So batteries are here today, and hydro is here today. So please just do it. So this is my thoughts on it.
And my thoughts are like, I'm an optimist, so definitely we will pull through. And I think how it would be possible. Maybe it's kind of mix of Priit and Tomas' answer is like, at some point, of course, there's a need in some regions push from the government just to start that chain reaction. At the same time, it always small businesses that provide this impulse to grow into something bigger. So yeah, basically adding to what already have been said, it's a great opportunity towards us in the future, and I'm more positive than negative about it.
Thank you, guys. Just a quick look at the girls here in the chat. Do we have any questions?
No,
from the audience.
No questions. So we kind of continue on our own.
Okay, cool. I have one more question. I also wanted to fit into this panel. So I think you all know, my dear panelists, that Startup Wisecase is mainly a B2B focused accelerator. If we talk about B2B businesses, like pure B2B SaaS businesses in sustainability, Do you even see there, or what's your take on this? Can you do sustainable SaaS solutions, like pure SaaS solutions, or do you see a big enough market for this even out there for a company to focus on this?
Yes, you can. And in a field, for example, in electricity, I don't know, there is so much to do concerning how for example, let's say PV parks that have been built in Poland, for example, or everywhere else as well, is that through this kind of SaaS solutions, you can bring the financial costs down, insurance costs down, and stuff like that. So I don't know, still for some reasons, for example, PV parks need to have fences around them, and the fences are being one of the biggest part of the investment already in smaller projects, because everything else has gone really cheap in that sense per watt basis. So these kind of things you can still do and change the world. So there is many things to do. This was only one of the examples, and yeah, I think that there at least in electricity production, there's a lot of solutions that we haven't still used.
Thanks, Priit.
Yeah, we have companies in our portfolio that do B2B SaaS super successful. We have a company called PVCase, based in Lithuania, that's doing pure SaaS to B2B clients. It works super well. They're growing massively, so it's definitely out there. Obviously, we're not talking enterprise software there with the proliferation that we have, but it's definitely possible. I think in multiple spheres. I was just thinking sort of the different sectors, and I think that the main exits that we had in the energy tech and mobility spaces in Europe over the last 1 or 2 years, and what kind of business models these guys were running. What comes to my head is ONED, the residential battery producer, Lime Jump, the disaggregator in the UK, and a bunch of mobility exits in Europe, such as MoveIt. So, definitely possible. We'll see more of that later down the line. And I think in general, Europe is definitely in a good place with that.
Thanks, Tomas. Oleg, what's your take?
I think, of course, it's possible, and it's just I think the question of just talking to the businesses that are starting to do something in that area, and just as a greatest example, just ask what's the problem they're facing, and just provide them a solution. So basically, that's one of what SaaS should be in this area. Talk to those people who are in that businesses and try to help them with providing a solution.
Perfect. All right. I mean, as we are approaching the next part of this event, I'll maybe, if anyone has some closing remarks that they feel that they would like to get out to the world, I presume that most of the people listening are startup founders. So anything you guys want to share, your emails where the companies can send the pitch decks, or no?
I just wanted to say, definitely obviously very biased by working in this industry and covering these sectors in the VC world, but I am, and we are super excited and happy we are in this sector and not in anywhere else. As someone said recently, that most likely the first personal wealth of a trillionaire will come out of the green energy focused entrepreneur, not anyone else. If that will happen, I definitely would love to see that, and we see people like very rich people like Elon Musk and others working on that. So I think the guys that will be pitching after the session, they definitely chose the great industry, and we are very open in looking at the companies they are creating, and so please reach out to anyone from our team, and we'll take a look.
The same applies for Sunly. So sunly.de.
same thing. The address will be posted.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure from my side as well. I don't invest money in startups as of yet, but if I can help anyone, then for sure get in touch with me in LinkedIn or wherever. But I will give the word back to Alexa now.
Thank you so much. I joined Wise Guys around 3 years ago, but sustainability topic just came here recently for us as the main focus. And I myself, even though I was keeping an eye on these topics before, but right now for me it's a really interesting learning curve to dig deeper and to know way more than I ever had before, and to focus more on these topics. And right now, and what I would probably join Tomas in his words right now, that when I started digging deeper into this direction, I got very excited. And now looking into startups that are applying and just seeing the people that are focusing more on and having the sustainability in mind and trying to make changes in these fields, it makes me believe in the world way more. So good to have you guys as well here investing and supporting this type of startups. Thank you everyone for listening. Our dearest experts, you have a break right now, at least for a couple of minutes. Let's say we officially start the pitching part at in 10 minutes.